Just ahead on CTV News, state and county leaders break down the impact Medicaid cuts will have on essential programs.
Today's roundtable actually convenes a critical conversation around what Medicaid cuts might mean to the community, all of health, and the agencies that support through social services.
Plus, some county leaders are asking to put a pause on data centers. And the Terps win big over the weekend. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for September 15th. I'm Anaya Falcon.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, federal, state, and local leaders, along with nonprofit groups, gathered in Prince George's today to voice their concerns about the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill. U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen hosted a roundtable to discuss the potential cuts to Medicaid that have come from the new law. Some of the groups in attendance, including CCI Health Services, the ARC, and nonprofit Prince George's, among others. Organizations expressed their concerns that the patients who rely on Medicaid will no longer have health coverage.
It will be a huge impact. Medicaid is the steady flow of resources for those in need that actually props up all the systems that we rely on. I think people associate it with a group of people and they don't understand that it's a system that's baked into many other systems. I have a patient who has had a lung transplant, for example, and she's a Medicaid recipient. And so her ability to breathe and live every day is tied into that program. If it were to go away, if that access was taken away, it literally might cost her life.
Burton says 58% of CCI Health Services' $57 million budget is dedicated to Medicaid.
And Prince George's County is considering a temporary pause on approvals for new data centers. The proposal will introduce a resolution to stop new building and grading permits while the Qualified Data Center Task Force finishes its work. Work like listening to the community's concerns, studying environmental and public health impacts, and the economics of new data centers.
We're not going to delay good projects, and so right after the task force makes its recommendations, we will begin to again review applications for permits, as well as the planning board will continue to process those applications coming into them, because again we want to ensure that we take advantage of all economic development opportunities that are out there, and there are some smart places in Prince George's County to build data centers.
Making sure that we have revenue generation in the county is important, but I think we've got to look at the environmental impacts. I think we got to look at what the land use implications are and be really thorough in these decisions. You know, at the state level, we try to provide as much oversight as possible, and I'm really concerned that we're moving a little fast on the data center conversation.
The pause would last up to 180 days or end sooner if the council passes comprehensive legislation first. The pause doesn't block all development. The Data Center Task Force plans to deliver recommendations to the County Council by November 30th. And meanwhile, a Prince George's County police officer is being investigated over a post he made about the death of Charlie Kirk. According to the department, Officer Adam Malake posted on social media, quote, "When you're spewing hate, hate will eventually rear its head and find you." Police have launched an internal investigation into the matter, adding the post must have violated the department's general orders. There's no word yet on whether the officer will face disciplinary action.
And Prince George's County Public Schools are still facing major school bus delays this year, driven by a shortage of about 140 drivers. Officials have boosted pay and hired new drivers, but most won't finish training until October or November. PGCPS moves about 83,000 students a day, making it one of the nation's largest systems. A new bus tracking app is also in the works after the old one failed to give accurate updates. And Senator Chris Van Hollen came to Prince George's Community College today to get a first-hand look at the school's cybersecurity program. The senator was also able to get a tour of one of the buildings on campus. Afterwards, he got to see what the students are learning, and he watched a live demonstration of how it was possible to hack into a Bank of America account. Van Hollen helped secure a $2 million federal grant for 16 community colleges to help them with their cybersecurity programs.
If you look at this example where somebody can hack into a Bank of America account, it tells you how important it is that we all do what we can to protect ourselves from cyber attacks. But the best way to figure that out is to have people who are trying to hack in and tell you where the weak links are.
Van Hollen also got to see the trucking program where students are able to get their CDL licenses.
Another year, another rise. A new report shows Maryland hospitals are seeing more medical mistakes for the fourth year in a row. The Department of Health says nearly 1,000 adverse events were reported in fiscal year 2023, including more than 800 that resulted in death or serious disability. The biggest jump came from falls, up more than 20% from the year before. The report even highlighted a patient who suffered a fatal head injury after being misclassified as low risk for falls. Officials say workforce shortages and pandemic fallout may be driving the increase. And the report warns that without stronger safety measures, the upward trend in medical errors could continue.
Meanwhile, a University of Maryland program that trains minority undergrads to research communication disorders almost lost its lifeline. This year, UMD Reach was one of 79 NIH-funded projects in Maryland cut by the Trump administration in May as part of a move to slash grants tied to diversity and equity. The good news, the grant was reinstated in July, but program leaders say the stop and start cost them precious time and progress. Across the state, 32 grants remain frozen, and public health groups say the slow release of funds is stalling research that serves underserved communities. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Still to come, Governor Wes Moore sent a powerful message about LGBTQ rights over the weekend.
Find out what he had to say at the Human Rights Campaign National Dinner after the break.
CTV News.
I sat down with the interim superintendent to talk about what students and parents can expect this school year.
As students prepare to head back to school, county police are looking to fill an important safety position.
We have a lot of people fired up about supporting our children.
All 9 sororities and fraternities that make up the Divine Nine are coming together to donate for Prince George's County students.
PGCTV is rolling out their new bus tracker app that shows how students are getting to and from school.
People really want to be here. They know the great things that we're doing here.
These are kids that are literally going to change our world.
Yeah, we're excited to have 132,000 students coming back into our doors.
CTV News, bringing you news that you need to know.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1.
What's this?
We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency.
Thanks, Tita.
Oh, man.
Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for Diwali.
I've got the battery pack.
Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
Welcome back. During a business leadership summit, County Executive Aisha Braveboy announced a new initiative that would shorten the permitting process in the county. Braveboy says she's heard concerns and calls for faster turnaround times, less duplication, more transparency, and stronger collaboration between agencies. A development transition team led by County Council Chair Edward Burrows has been meeting with the Department of Permitting, Inspection, and Enforcement alongside Parks and Planning to make business in the county more effective.
We are launching the most ambitious
permitting and development reform effort in our county's history. And the impact is real. We know that time is money, especially for small businesses trying to open their doors.
The time frame from the past will not work no longer in the future. The process that took 16 months, sometimes up to 3 years, will now be streamlined to 6 months for eligible shovel-ready projects.
Well, the man convicted for the murder of his roommate learns his new fate in court on Friday. 40-year-old Richard Banal was sentenced to 50 years in prison for the second-degree murder of 27-year-old Dominique Hayes. According to court documents, in January of 2024, Banal shot Hayes multiple times in their Springdale home after Hayes woke Banal up from his sleep asking where the TV remote was. Banal was also convicted for the use of a handgun and the commission of a crime of violence and tampering with evidence.
And Prince George's police need your help in finding a suspect accused of murdering her grandmother on Sunday. On your screen is 28-year-old Briante Thomas, who is charged with murdering 81-year-old Helen Thomas inside of her Fort Washington home. Officers arrived for a welfare check and found Helen Thomas inside suffering from stab wounds. A male family member was also stabbed and rushed to the hospital in critical condition. And Briante Thomas was seen fleeing from the scene in a white 2012 Volkswagen Passat with Maryland license plate number 3FF3906. Anyone with more information on where she is, we are asked to call police at 911 immediately. And a powerful message from Maryland's governor as Wes Moore took the national stage this weekend. The governor delivered the keynote address at the Human Rights Campaign's national dinner in Washington, D.C. He called Maryland a safe haven for the LGBTQ community. And Moore also highlighted state actions like expanding gender-affirming care, boosting hate crime protections, and repealing Maryland's outdated HIV criminalization law.
In the state of Maryland, we must and we will stand up and protect all of our fellow Americans and fellow Marylanders, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and all identities. This is a moment where we're seeing people in power who are using that power to erase progress, to make America great again. I want to be very clear that nobody ever should have to walk around and feel like they have to justify their humanity in the state of Maryland or anywhere in the United States of America.
Moore shared the stage with advocates, artists, and lawmakers, all pushing for greater equality. And the Human Rights Campaign is the nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights organization working to expand equality and protect communities across the country.
Well, the U.S. Department of Justice is sharing state voter roll lists within the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And according to reports, through the sharing of data, the Trump administration is looking for non-citizens on those lists. Homeland Security put out a statement saying, quote, "Elections exist for the American people to choose their leaders, not illegal aliens." You may recall attorneys for the Justice Department demanded that some states, including Maryland, provide their voter roll list.
And in response to the January 6th attack on the Capitol, police officers are now training in the event there is another riot. This past Friday, the U.S. Capitol Police led the training exercise at a Secret Service training complex in Maryland. They were joined by 600 officers from nearly 20 agencies. The purpose was to sharpen coordination among many agencies in the DMV region. This comes at a time when members of Congress are continuing to receive more threats. And still to come on CTV News.
The buzz surrounding the Joint Base Andrews Air Show this weekend was sky high.
That's right. Find out how the show went after the break.
Most hiring algorithms would scream me out.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I get clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I am
more than who I am on paper.
I never got a college degree. And today, I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time hero to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. At the University of Maryland, a student team called Definix won $250,000 for development at an AI system. The system detects visible guns in schools and tracks suspects as they move, all while sending automatic alerts to security. The tool was built through X-Foundry's inaugural experience competition, where 14 teams competed. Definix prioritized the ability to alert staff quickly and integrate mental health support after potential incidents. And over the next several months, the team plans to refine the product, seek additional investment, and eventually introduce it to K-12 schools. And more than 30 professors at the University of Maryland, Johns Hopkins, and Morgan State have been named on the Turning Point USA's Professor Watch List. The list is a project of Turning Point USA, a conservative group co-founded and formerly led by the late Charlie Kirk. The watch list claims the 30 professors discriminate against conservative students and push left-leaning ideas in and out of the classroom. One professor says they were listed after filing a lawsuit alleging his home was devalued because he is Black, and another was added after a talk on health equity. Critics warn the list chills academic freedom and increases risk for instructors who express personal views. Supporters say it offers transparency.
Well, Maryland just wrapped up one of the largest oyster restoration projects in the world, and it happened on the Monacan River. Crews pumped 14 million baby oysters onto new reefs this summer, a milestone that finishes the state's 5-river restoration goal. It's been a bumpy road with lawsuits, delays, and a price tag topping $90 million, but so far the reefs are showing strong survival rates. Scientists say it'll take a few years to know if the oysters thrive, but for now, the bay has a fighting chance at cleaner water, stronger habitats, and more marine life. And if you haven't heard, the air show at Joint Base Andrews was a huge success over the weekend. It was such a success on Saturday, the base had to turn away visitors ahead of schedule as parking reached capacity. Bus shuttles were provided from the Northwest Stadium in Landover, and the weekend event's popularity appeared to catch the base and the county police departments off guard. Just before 2 p.m., PGPD made a post on X letting the community know that the show was at capacity and no longer accepting additional visitors.
And listen up for all you burger lovers out there. From now through Saturday, the National Harbor is bringing back Burger Week. Dozens of restaurants will feature special deals on burgers all week long, especially on Thursday when it will be National Cheeseburger Day. And $1 from every Burger Week burger purchase will be donated to the Alzheimer's Association, as they will also be hosting their Walk to End Alzheimer's event this Saturday at the National Harbor.
Sounds like fun. Well, don't move. Simon Buggs has our Monday Sports page.
That's right. What's going on today, Simon?
It's Monday, guys, so you know what that means, football highlights. Stay tuned to find out who took the field over the weekend after the break.
It's traumatizing when you have a sick child. Then you are tired, very, very tired. The doctors told us, you are a part of the medical team. You need to sleep, eat, drink, shower, because when you are healthy, you can take care of your child. The Ronald McDonald House is next to the hospital. They have a washing machine, kitchen, beds were very good, but it's also being with parents of other children that are sick. So you can talk and you can cry and maybe you can laugh, but it's very important for healing yourself. The house understood what our needs were. There was someone that gave you a hug, a cup of tea, and that's very important, just to have someone who is taking care of you a little bit.
Are you looking for more in this world? Then we are looking for you. The big-hearted, the bold, those driven by purpose. We are the Peace Corps, volunteers, partners, communities in more than 60 countries, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you ready to serve boldly, to go the distance to make a difference? Then we have a place where you belong. Join us.
We are the keepers of the wild. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving the natural landscapes that define our nation. Nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters. Together with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. So get out there and enjoy.
All right, everyone, you know what time it is. Let's get straight to it. It was Friday Night Lights over the weekend as Wise took on the Laurel Spartans for their home opener. Now, after a quick 3-and-out by Laurel to begin the first, Wise's offense took the field. And plays from the Pumas like this pass by QB Eric Wedge to Cameron Parker for a nice gain helped the offense march down the field and get into red zone territory. And Wise capped off their first drive of the game with a touchdown as Parker won this foot race to the end zone. And now the Pumas were up 7-0 on Laurel. Laurel's offense took the field soon after and left with 0 points as the offense continued to struggle. But Wise's offense didn't, racking up more explosive plays like this huge run from Parker again for a Pumas first down. And the Spartans just had no answer for the yellow and white's rushing attack as Parker would not be stopped on his way to scoring his second touchdown of the night for his team. And now they were up 14-0 on Laurel. The Pumas defense continued to make it tough on the Spartans as plays like Ashton Early flying off the edge to punch the ball out of Demarius Custis' hands, causing him to fumble, kept the team scoreless through the quarter. And the Pumas took advantage of the short field as Wedge showed off his legs and lowered his shoulder to deliver the big hit on his way to scoring another touchdown for his team. And Wise went into the second quarter up 20-0 on the Spartans. In the second quarter, Wise kept their foot on the gas, scoring more touchdowns to put even more distance between themselves and the Spartans. Now, Laurel went scoreless in the second quarter also, but the team still had some highlight-worthy plays like King Corvette having this bone-crushing hit on a Wise player to cause the incompletion. Wise went into halftime up 52-0 on Laurel and won their first game of the season as they put belt to behind on the Spartans, winning the game 65-8. Meantime, UMD head football coach Mike Loxley looked to add another game to the win column in the team's game versus Towson on Saturday. After a couple minutes into the first quarter, Maryland's offense started to find their groove as Malik Washington had this big 53-yard throw to Octavian Smith Jr. before getting tackled at the 2-yard line. Maryland scored their first touchdown of the day. The team was now up 10-0 on Towson after kicking a field goal earlier in the quarter. Tigers offense took the field shortly after and with defensive lineman Cam Rice bringing the pressure on Towson's signal caller on third down, it was another 3-and-out for the offense. The Terps offense took the field once more, and Washington continued to make plays with his arm with another big throw, this time to Shalik Knox for 33 yards. And soon after, the Maryland native showed off his rushing ability and punched one in to give his team a 17-0 lead on Towson. Maryland's defense continued to make it difficult for the Tigers as they were shut out by the unit going into the second quarter. And Maryland's offense picked right back up where they left off in the second quarter as Washington found Knox wide open for a Terps touchdown to go up 24-0 on the Tigers. The Terps defense continued to do their part, not only causing but recovering the fumble also for a turnover on downs. And that resulted in another 7 for the red and white as Nolan Ray ran it in for the Terps' 4th touchdown of the day to make the score 31-0. And after another made field goal from Sean O'Hare, the Terps went into halftime up 34-0. And that will be all she wrote as Maryland kept their lead for the rest of the game, winning it 44-17. Here's head coach Mike Loxley, Washington, and defensive back Lakai Rowland on the team's performance.
Some positive highlights, I think, on offense. What we were looking to be able to do was start fast. I think we scored points on the first 6 drives we had. 7 was really efficient for us. Did a really good job of kind of getting the offense rolling early on and gain some momentum.
The first 2 games, we kind of had some slower starts, so being able to get out here today and just start fast and be able to operate quick and go put the points on the board was good.
Shout out to my D linemen, they're dogs. They put pressure on the quarterback, so the secondary is able to get their picks and stuff. They make tackles, force fumbles, create turnovers, things like that. They're just dogs.
Maryland will return to action against Wisconsin in their Big Ten opener on Saturday at noon. And wrapping up sports, some disappointing news from the Washington Commanders as running back Austin Eckler has suffered a torn right Achilles. The 30-year-old sustained the injury during the team's game against the Green Bay Packers last Thursday after falling to the ground during a route without any contact. This injury is a big blow to the Burgundy and Gold's running back room. The All-Pro will miss the remainder of the season. And that wraps up your Monday sports page. Simon Bugs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at your 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be cloudy out with a wind around 9 miles per hour. Tomorrow, grab your umbrellas. We have a 70% chance of rain and it'll be 71 degrees. Wednesday, more rain is on the way and we'll have a high of 70 and a low of 63. Thursday, it's going to be partly sunny with a high of 79.
And for our community calendar this Saturday, 100 Black Men of Prince George's County is hosting its Junior Tennis Boot Camp. Take your child's tennis game to the next level with a fun-filled day of tennis skills and drills. This event takes place from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Country Club at Woodmore. For more information, contact 301-412-0806. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver. To see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Pick up! Joe, pick up the phone. Open up, man.
Connection saves lives. Reach out and check in on a loved one today.